Welcome to the Inspired Action Podcast. This is where we have motivational, inspiring conversations and interviews that we hope you'll enjoy listening to. If you're interested in creating more balance in your life, understanding your 5-element energetic nature, finding the path of greatest ease,
or releasing the baggage of this lifetime and discovering ancient alchemy that can help you fly in your life, join us and other inspired actioneers on this alchemical transformational journey.
Welcome back to the Inspired Action Podcast. This is Pod 85. My name is Jay, and I'm with my co-host, Lita Herman.
Hello, everyone.
Lita Herman in the house. In the world headquarters of the Inspired Action Podcast. Well, we have a very exciting podcast today. Today is called Alchemy is ...
Everything.
No.
Whoops.
No suspense there, Lita. Okay, there was just like a little bit of alchemy is what? Everything. Okay, so alchemy is everything. That's it. No suspense. It's just alchemy is everything. Forget the ... right? But today...
I think the ... are supposed to be there. Oops.
Whoopsie. Okay, so today we're going to talk about specifics of alchemy without getting too specific, right?
Right.
Because we could just spend all day on like one little specific thing.
We'd probably be here for a lifetime or two if we were going to get that specific.
Yes. What was the last podcast about? Get a little recap.
Yeah. So, we've been trying to prepare for today's podcast for a while now since we started this season 5. And so we've been talking about how to change the beliefs that aren't serving you. We've been talking about, how to live like you have unlimited time left in your life. We've talked about how to become a sage. And then in the last podcast, we talked about even how to outsmart your own mind. Not outsource
Not
your own.
outsource, that's right.
your own
But
mind.
outsmart, that's coming on the horizon.
And so now we're moving on to how to actually start to do alchemy, which can be a big deal for some of us.
For some of us, yes. But before we begin, the question is really, Lita, what is the kind of alchemy we're talking about?
Yes, when we're talking about alchemy, we're talking about the 9 stages of alchemy, in particular, that's done through Chinese medicine. So, out of the tradition of a guy named Ge,
A dude named
a
Gahong.
dude who, lived a long time ago, and we've talked a lot about him on the podcast already. And, like the sages of old that we talked about in earlier episodes, Ge, he was all about simplicity. That was his thing. He even wrote a book called Bao Gu, which is basically the master of simplicity. So he let go of the complications of society. He really estrewed society. He went to a mountain and supposedly he transitioned into a non-physical being.
Very cool. Which is not the same as dying, evidently, correct?
Yes. Not if you do it on purpose.
Transition into a non-physical being. I like that.
And in the legend, he and his wife Bao Gu disappeared in front of Gehong's apprentice's eyes and just left a pile of clothes behind, which is what they put in his tomb at his grave.
Just the clothes.
Just the clothes on the ground.
That's it. I'm out. I'm out of here. Close. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Magic.
Another timing thing there, Lita. Good job. Clothes drop, right? Just I'm out.
I'm out. But it's not really Gehong we want to talk about today. It's his tradition that followed
Hey,
him.
wait. Do you think if Gahong was around today, you'd have a podcast?
Yes, definitely.
What do you think he'd call it? He could reach a lot of people every week from all over the world. We're just sitting in front of his one microphone on top of his mountain.
Life is simple. I don't know. What do you think he would call it?
Could be the master of simplicity.
The master.
He might want inspired action.
Yes, he might want that.
How's it, Gahongin?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, that's a little crude.
That's a little crude.
But that's kind of funny, right?
Oh my
Paputsa
God.
in the house.
Yes,
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if that would be a popular one. But he might want inspired action. Or
Yes.
just, how about simplicity?
Simplicity.
Right.
That would be it.
He'd be
That
like-
would be a good
He'd be like,
podcast.
listen if you want, and I doesn't really care if you do or not.
Well,
just-
now that we're talking about it, I was just talking with someone today about Gehong's simplicity. The idea of simplicity with him, we think of simplicity as cleaning out all the junk in your house. A lot of the hype is right now,
If it doesn't bring you joy, out the door.
Out the door. But he thought about cleaning up your mind.
Yeah.
So he would say, we're complicating our lives by trying to do too many things, by trying to, get a lot of gear to do too many things.
We're
And
taking on too many work projects to
yeah,
do a lot of
there
things.
you go. Well, we might be a little
A
bit
little bit, right?
having that
We
problem.
gotta clean up our minds,
Yes.
right? Definitely. And if you do stuff, I've talked about the turducken thing in the past about
Yes.
trying to stuff too much, especially if you're excited about life and things are going well and you have really great ideas and things are happening and you're moving all your obstacles out of the way. Sometimes things can get, a little crazy because you got a lot going on.
Got a lot
But that's
going
kind
on.
of fun. That's what we're here for, experiences and life.
And theoretically, if it's inspired action, it
Right.
it it actually isn't complicated. It's quite
No.
easy.
And we just got to keep it simple.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what he was
that's
all
great.
about. So let's get back to the topic.
Sorry about that.
So, not about Gahung's podcast.
Okay,
And
so that's right. So
all right. So for many years after Gahung, people experimented with ways to achieve physical more immortality because they were really inspired by him and they wanted to, look at different ways to do that. So out of that tradition came the philosophy of the 9 stages of alchemy, which are similar to the idea of I guess you could really think of it like enlightenment, but for Taoists, because we talk about enlightenment for Buddhists all the time, but this is
which
the
is better
Taoist.
than enlightenment for dummies.
Yeah, right. The new book on
I might write that. I don't know.
how to become enlightened. Okay. So, and, 2 episodes ago in our podcast, Pod 83, we talked about how the sages wanted to live this wu wei life, like 24
Well,
7.
you might use that for a name for the podcast. Wu
Yeah,
Wei.
totally. And that's kind of what alchemy is trying to do. We like to call it when you're flying in your life. And how can you really feel free and soar through your life? What is the purpose and goal of someone who wants to embrace this kind of
And the
alchemy?
flying in your life is stage 6 of
Yes,
alchemy.
out
So
of, out of the
out
9,
of the 9, so it's a
right?
little bit not. It's more than halfway,
Yes,
but you still got to do some work. You got to clean the house
yes,
and the mind.
yes. And it could take a long time to get to stage 6, like many years.
Yeah. Oh,
So
hello.
it's
Who
not,
doesn't have baggage?
yeah. And I always say many lifetimes,
Our
even.
whole podcast is based on the baggage.
Yes, definitely. So my friend and colleague said to me the other day, this is what this whole podcast is about. He said, "Alchemy is everything."
Did he have the dot dot
He
dot
did
dramatic
not
pause?
that was my problem. He did not put the dramatic pause in it. Okay, hold on. Alchemy is
Everything.
No, you didn't pause.
I did pause.
I was gonna pause.
Pause even more?
Yes.
Okay, try it again.
Alchemy is dot dot dot.
Cricket, cricket, cricket. Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
So I think once you find alchemy and if you love the idea of it, you realize it is everything in your
What's
life.
more to life than that? It's
Yeah.
everything.
What more to life
It's
is there?
everything. But before we give you the answer that you're searching for, let's do a little bit about what we have going on in the Alchemy Learning Center. So, Lita, why don't you give a little tidbit there,
Yes.
and I'll pick up while I have a little bit of sip of my tea here.
Yes. So we're starting a new project, the Master Alchemy
Woohoo!
Quest.
You could do the applause on that one.
Woo! Which one is it? Okay.
Second one down.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So starting September 15th, the Master Alchemy Quest. It runs through December and just before the holidays, for everyone around the world, you can join us because we made this so that we can be long distance enjoying each other's company. So there'll be recorded sessions. There will be an in-person component for those who are in the Northeast of the United
Or
States.
the United States in general. Now you
Yeah.
can just hop on a plane and
Yeah.
boom, you're right
And
there. Or you could travel from another dimension, just time travel.
yes, and we're going to have
Boom.
alternating with Zoom calls, and we're going to try to make sure that the Zoom calls are available to all the time zones who join us.
We're gonna have
if we
study
can.
groups. We're gonna have
Yeah.
surprises. We're gonna have so many cool things. We've done
Yeah,
this before,
meditations.
and we kind of have learned a lot from the past groups that we've taken through. So we have a whole new way we think is going to really accelerate. We're going to do a 100-day challenge. We're going to do some journaling. We're going to have some qigong, tai chi, Dao Yin. We're going to let you learn some alchemical meditations. We got so much.
We're very excited about it.
Can you tell we're excited?
Yeah, so if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, we've been hearing so much lately from fans and just
All
people
over the
who
world.
really love it.
Thank you so much. You could do the applause again.
Yeah.
Woo!
You know,
Thank you. We're just blown away every day we get something from someone, and
yeah,
we're
I
just
mean,
happy that you're here listening to
so
us.
excited. So if you love the inspiredactionpodcast.com, this is the way to have more. So it's called the Master Alchemy Quest. It's on our website called
So if you want more
alchemylearningcenter.com.
on all of this stuff, you can go to the alchemylearningcenter.com.
Okay. So, and just to
We also
remind
have
you,
classes there too, like
yeah,
5 elements, 9 palaces, releasing chaotic energy, intro to alchemy for practitioners, some meditations that are from the book. You also can get the book through the mystery gate. You can get connecting your circle. You can get energy of love. You can get the gua sha. We have a whole series of gua sha classes,
and a
facial
lot of
cupping.
and a
Wow.
lot of what she's talking about is included in the quest, or quite a bit of
Yeah, because
that.
we do have some prerequisites that we're
Yeah.
hoping everyone can do before it starts on the 15th. Because we really want to start this with the on the ground, from the ground running. We want to have an elevated conversation. This is not going to be like, 5 elements on the first day. We're going to assume people understand the 5 elements. They don't have to be an expert, but have taken the class, maybe done the quiz, maybe kind of know their top three, but we can help with that. You can send in videos. We will help you start on the 15th knowing your 5 elements, understanding the 9 palaces a little bit, and getting ready to hit the ground running
Yeah, we really
or
want.
flying, getting ready to fly in
Yeah.
the runway.
Yep, and people are sending us their videos from all over the world, and we're super excited to get them. So if you would like to send a video of you walking to understand your element, you want us to
Yes.
take a look at it, we just want to extend that invitation again. You can send it to Lita at inspiredactionpodcast.com or Jay at inspiredactionpodcast.com. But I
.com.
promise we will both look at it, and we have a blast looking at them. So please send
Sure.
them.
We sometimes we bring them to our group night. We will Way Wednesday, which we're going to also roll into the quest starting on September 15th. And also, if you like what we're doing, just keep listening, like and subscribe, give a little
Yes.
thumbs up on the Apple. It really does help people find us and listen, and we'll keep doing what we're doing.
And we got a great testimonial this week from someone in Poland, so shout out to.
Yeah, let's send her a t-shirt.
Yeah, we should. So we still, love to get questions from people, and we
Oh,
do promise to send a T-shirt if you send us a
that's
question.
right. Or a video or something. I don't know. Just ask us and we'll send you a t-shirt. Or just go buy one. It doesn't matter. We don't care. Just get a t-shirt. We like everyone wearing t-shirts. So if you're listening to this and the timing is right, you could get early bird specials on the quest. But if not,
Yes.
that's okay. That
Yeah.
means you just
All right.
missed the boat
All
there.
right. Now we could spend the whole time talking about Alchemy Learning Center, but we have a podcast to do, Jay.
Yes, let's get back to those 9 stages of alchemy.
Yes. So
Seems like a lot, right? Well, we wrote a whole book about it
yes,
through the
and
mystery
we
gate.
should mention that the through the mystery gate.
You
If
can
you're
get
new,
that wherever you buy books, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And then we're also working on the audio version, which we'll have by the end of the year. If we can just get Lita to keep doing that, her wonderful stuff, we'll have that book in the audio. So that's a
were you trying to
surprise.
say if you can keep me still long enough to record a
Yes,
whole
we
book?
can
Yeah,
undo the
I think that's the
turducken,
problem.
the turducken of your life. But no, that's a surprise. Now I just blew the surprise, which is the audio book by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All
All
right.
right. Back to the 9 stages
Yes.
of alchemy. As I ramble today, I'm a rambler.
Yes. So
Time traveling rambler.
let's just explain a little bit about them. Like, we like to think of them as a roadmap that can guide us with specific directions that say, turn here, go make a right, and then up ahead, take a left.
Okay,
And
well, it's not like a GPS in your car. Siri, please bring me to enlightenment, immortality.
there you go.
I'm thinking on that. Still processing.
I don't understand
I
you.
do. It's not the only way to get to the destination. In fact, anyone can invent their own roadmap without Siri.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. But it's nice to have a Siri.
Yeah, I think you're the Siri. Hey, Lita,
Ah.
what direction do I go in for
Yes,
in
there you go.
alchemy?
There you go. Well, we believe that a group of very wise people from the past created a wonderful map, a really long time ago. So, why not follow the stepping stones that they laid out for us to follow? It's just one way to get there, but hey, it's a good way to get there.
Sure. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Just ride the wheels along. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why reinvent the
One
wheel if
thing
you
that
don't
is
have
cool
to?
about this roadmap that Lita's talking about is it's linear.
Yeah, so it's about first do this, then do this, now after that do this. And if you do them in that order, they work really well.
It is
Y-
a little bit like Siri,
Yeah,
giving you
there you
directions,
go.
right?
So these 9 stages can actually be done in any order. Like tomorrow you could do stage 5 for the hell of it. Like it's
Did you say HE double toothpicks? Oi, beep.
I think that's cool to say. I think these days that one's legit. Okay, but anyway,
I'm
whatever the
telling.
heck. How about that? The heck.
Oh, okay. You could offend those in hell if you say the hell word.
Okay. All right. Well,
HE double toothpicks.
okay. HEW.
You can't even
I don't even
say.
remember why I was saying the
I
word.
don't know.
Okay. So the 9 stages can be done in any order. And if you want to do stage 5 for the heck of it,
There you
you
go.
can. But
That's
it's
not my
cool.
favorite one.
It's the neither good or bad.
Right? It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. If you feel like doing that
Actually,
right
it's not
now,
my favorite. It is my favorite. It's not my favorite. It is my
it
favorite.
doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. It matters. It doesn't matter.
That's stage 5. All right, but the truth is, if you do stage 1 through 4 before you do stage 5, it's gonna go better. It's gonna be smoother. So you could spend a lifetime studying these 9 stages, and many people have spent lifetimes, I think, doing it. We learned them from Master Jeffrey Yuen, who's the 88th generation Taoist priest that we study with, and
Thank you, Jeffrey, for sharing all this
yes.
wonderful knowledge with the
Thank
world.
you. And we've studied and practiced them ourselves for years and then with others in our healing clinic for many years. So these are the 9 stages we're talking about. And the 9 stages of alchemy have truly changed our lives completely, and we can really, easily vouch for that. And our story is actually in the book we were just came out with,
What book would that be?
Through the Mystery Gate.
Oh, okay, great. Did we write a book?
We
Okay.
wrote a book.
Available on Amazon.com.
We've written several books. But anyway, okay, so each stage in the 9 stages of alchemy is a paradigm shift in your mind. It alters your beliefs. Remember, we keep talking about these belief systems and changing them. So your perception of the current reality will be adjusted as you go through them.
Yeah, and because alchemy asks you to walk through those doors fearlessly, doors that open up new worlds, realities, perspectives, even yourself.
Yeah.
You just it changes you.
It changes you, and that's what alchemy is
And
about.
that's what alchemy is. Dot dot dot.
Everything.
Everything.
So let's review these stages and really try to understand what it's about and why you'd want to embark on this journey.
Okay, stage 1. What's it about? Tell
So,
us, Lita.
yeah, so this is such an amazing process. No matter where you start out, like you may have done a ton of spiritual work your whole life, but no matter how much spiritual development you've had, you can always do the very basic work of stage 1
And
again.
I like going back to it from time to time. I mean, you
Yeah.
think you got things going on, things are like, woo, my life is good. And then all of a sudden something comes up, a little trigger, little tentacle, something gets the tripwire there. And
Triggered.
I love going back to stage 1. We went back to stage 1 with our group of the Master Alchemy program, and it was amazing. You just go deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you're doing alchemy already, don't be afraid to go back to stage 1. It's not like a penalty.
Yes. So we often feel like life can be hard. And even if you've been doing alchemy a long time or you've done a lot of spiritual development, we all know what it's like to go back to the life is hard issue. And so there are blocks to our growth and our development that surface again. And this is just a mental construct. And in fact, we're always flowing towards greater expansion.
That's nice. That
Yeah.
sounds really nice.
So, it's like being a tree. Jay's going to like this because she's wood.
Wood.
It's like being a tree that never stops growing. But sometimes in order to grow, it has to twist and turn to continue its growth. And that's true for humans too. If we look at our circuitous path and refuse to take a turn, like we just want to go in a straight path, well, we may hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Kind of human nature. Sometimes
Gotta
we
go with the flow.
I know, but sometimes we don't. We're really
I know.
stubborn.
I know.
We get really stubborn. We just smack head first in that brick wall. But, only because we're not going with the flow.
And it's the rebellious G. Bing,
Yes.
it comes right up and rears its rebellious face.
Yes. So that's what stage 1 of alchemy is about. It's about resistance to change. It's about resistance to that going around things and sort of going with that flow if it's leading us into a little bit
Abraham,
of a turn.
you gotta go downstream.
Yes,
Don't go
flowing
upstream. Gotta go downstream.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who've listened to the podcast all the way through, we talked a lot about Abraham, which is Esther Hicks channels
Yeah.
Abraham.
We even have a meditation about
yeah,
that
and
people love, 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 love. What
yes.
meditation is that?
So it's rebellious chi meditation on the Alchemy Learning
Yeah,
Center site.
it's really a good one.
And it's about flowing downstream towards all the things that are coming into your life that you're manifesting. So it's really if you let go of your own resistance to change, then you can float downstream. And once you embrace this ease that is really in our life, we can start having a conversation with our spirit self, our true self, or what some call our higher self. And so we can't really access that self if we're always fighting to survive, or fighting for what we think we want.
Yeah, to have that ease, to step into that ease is to have that conversation with yourself. And, I guess you're like you said about Gahung, working on clearing that mind.
Yes.
Okay, getting the clutter out. Simple. That's
Simple, simple.
simple, simple. Not that you're a simpleton.
Right.
We're not trying to, that is not the goal. But
Well,
can
it
I
kind
say
of
that? I don't
is.
know if we can say
It
that.
kind of is. It
Okay.
kind of is that you want to be a
Be a
simpleton.
simpleton,
You
right?
really want to
Simple.
let go of
Okay,
things.
that's the name of the podcast.
There you go.
Simpleton.
That's his, yes,
There you go.
Gahung's podcast. The
And
simpleton.
so that's stage one is to ease into that conversation with yourself about what is the resistance, what is the rebellious tree, what are the rebellious trees, right? No,
There you go. We talked about trees. That's
right.
perfect.
What is the constant roadblocks that you keep coming up against? I'm pretty certain that when you start to understand the nine palaces, you will see what they are and how they have come from your elements and the nine stages of alchemy. I think it's all connected.
Well, that's a good point. Just for those who may be new to the podcast, in stage one, we actually went through all the nine palaces.
Right. And there's a lot of nines,
There's a lot
right?
of nines in,
But
in Chinese
the
theory.
9 stages of alchemy and the 9 palaces of the heart.
Yes, those are the two different things.
Right.
So anyway, so Jay has a very good point that the nine palaces are often what keeps us from feeling at ease.
Right. Because we keep, the 9 palaces of the heart is your curriculum of what you're here to work on.
Yes.
So if you're constantly being tripped up on certain things, once you start to understand, then I think your mind opens up, things are aware, you start to really get what's going on, the bigger picture.
Right. So if you're a fire person, then your curriculum might be all about relationships and they're always kind of causing you a lot of consternation. Or if you're wood, you're constantly worried about your health, or if, or you have
Health
great
or
health.
wealth, health or wealth.
Yeah,
Yep.
you might have great health or wealth, but the second that something comes along and throws a wrench in that, you just can't even like stand it. It just brings you down.
Could be a hangnail or triple
Yeah.
bypass. I don't know,
Right,
right?
right.
It's just you don't know because you're so focused on health, even though you're probably really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
So
can go right down. Why don't you just do a couple more? You're doing
well,
earth,
if it's career, if it's all
the
about
water,
career, then it might be the water element. It's typical that water people are really interested in their skills and their
a little
abilities,
bit of
and
ambition.
they have a lot of ambition. And then there's the earth element, which is all about the home palace.
We save that one for last. With the
And
H, home with a capital H.
yeah, and that's also your spiritual home.
Yep.
And then there's also the metal element, which is associated with the travel palace
Global. Yep. They
or
all have a lot of different names, so they're kind
yeah,
of interchangeable,
or children and creativity.
which is the legacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated. It's my thing. It's what I'm into. So I could talk about that all day long. But right now, let's get back to alchemy. Stage one. Let's just wind up stage one and maybe we'll just do maybe stage two today.
Yeah.
All right,
So
let's go a little bit more. We got a little bit more
no, we're
time here.
gonna just quickly go through all of them, I think, and we're
Oh
just gonna
my.
give people an overview. So
Okay, strap in because here we go.
all right,
Go
got your
get some
seatbelt
caffeine
on.
because there's going to be a long podcast.
All right, so stage two. Let's move on to stage two. So, well, once you find ease in stage one and you're able to have that conversation with your higher self, then your day to day life seems to get so much better and smoother.
Absolutely.
Then you can begin to let go of the history of your life and the past that you've not been able to let go of that's been like an albatross around your neck.
And then you can start to get some momentum in alchemy and it starts to feel good. And you're like, oh,
Yes.
this is feeling good.
Right. So you're trying to let go of these old heart pains, these old hurts from the past in stage two. You begin, hopefully, as you go through stage two, you feel lighter and even easier than when you did in stage one.
You no longer feel like you have to protect yourself from things that seem similar to the painful past
Yes. So
or
these,
things that have happened a long time ago,
yes, you're not trying to prevent them from happening. And we call this the best protection is no
which is
protection.
mind boggling. And it kind of just but the best protection is no protection. And when you understand that and you start to get it, things start to shift. You start to get that momentum.
Yes, so it means that you're so good in yourself. You really don't need to be concerned with what other people think about you anymore. And you don't need to prevent bad things from happening that happened to you in the past. So we talked about this in the last podcast, the vigilant mind. And so what we realize is in that you begin to understand that no matter what happens in life, good or bad, because it could be bad, it could be good, but you're so good in yourself that you can now handle it. And
Yeah.
you know you're going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, and you kind of trust yourself. You lose that self doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to do a little self cultivation, a little self love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's stage 2. And once you get that release, that lightness, then you can move on to stage 3, which is really different than the other 2 stages.
Yep. You get rid of that baggage of a past lifetime that's not yours.
Yes. So it's about releasing the influence of those past lives and or your ancestral lineage. So it's that, you come into this lifetime with this previous baggage. So we have to get rid of that too.
Yeah. And these not necessarily the things that are conscious in your mind.
Yes, most of the time we don't understand them. Why? Why would I be afraid of snakes? I don't even haven't even seen a snake.
Why are you afraid of heights if you've never really even been up too high? Or, yeah,
Yeah.
things that you can't really understand.
So you always do things a certain way, but it doesn't tie in or correlate to your actual life. And so that's what this stuff is about. It's about the things that happened before you were born.
Past lives,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
So then as you release those things and as you go through this process, you become like a light being. You really start to be clean and clear, and the light can really shine from you because it's like all these gray clouds that have been hovering around you get cleared away.
Yeah, you got rid of the baggage that you wasn't yours. You came into this world with it, so kick it to the curb.
Yes, there
You
you
don't need
go.
it. You don't need it.
Right. And then when you're done with stage 3, you get to move on to the really fun stuff. And the really fun stuff is stage 4, 5, and 6.
So get through the clearing of
Yeah.
stage 3, and then you get to the fun stuff, which is 4 or 5. I get it. I get it.
So stage 4 is about returning to a childlike state, feeling like you're a child again. And where everything what's a child? Everything is new and exciting. So you get to experience life like it's brand new.
We always talk about the blueberry.
Yes.
What is a blueberry if you didn't know what a blueberry was? It's weird shaped and it looks funny and it's blue and like what's inside? What does it taste like? What's the texture? If you don't understand and then you experience that for the first time, it's like,
It's
whoa.
totally whoa, and just think about as an adult how many times we eat blueberries and barely even notice that they're in our mouth. But a child, it's like an explosion of flavor. They're like checking it out. They're like, "What is this thing that I just ate that's blue?" So it's a big deal. So all the habits you've developed in your life, which make you feel very adult, and you feel like you have to do the same things all the time, the same ways, you're gonna let go of those, and you're gonna just really be free like a child
Yeah,
again.
and I think this stage is also a lot about play.
Yes.
I've had many people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s who don't know how to play,
Not
have
at all.
never knew how to play, and so we have to reintroduce that aspect into your life. Is to play, have some fun, be silly.
Yes. Yes, and
That
I
childlike mind.
totally, and I always have that little asterisk, if you really are in that childlike mode, just like, some people might think you're a little weird. It's
So
like
what? That's okay. It's fine. It's funny.
we have this one person who was, like, riding the merry-go-round at the park with the kids, and the kids are like, "Whoa."
Why is this old lady on the merry-go-round? But we were laughing. She was laughing. The kids were laughing. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was play.
It was
We were all
play.
playing in the park with the
Yes.
kids.
So then once you really embrace the child, you can move on to stage 5, and stage 5 is now going to be like the wise old person.
Who could also be on the merry-go-round.
Could also, yes, because once you're free like a child, you can now embrace the concept that there is really no good or bad in the world. And that's the old wise person's approach to life. Think about all the people who are elevated in years who were like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, no, they don't care about judgment. They don't care about
Yeah,
good or bad. They're just gonna
they can let it
do
go.
whatever the heck they wanna do.
Yeah, so it's a really different approach to life. It's wisdom. It's the wisdom of the years of having lived life. And it's also about channeling your wisdom in terms of talking to others, but not in a way that's like pedantic and, lecturing people. It's really allowing again the flow and the inspiration of the wise person.
And you're
So
still young like a child
yeah.
like mine.
Yes. And
It's
so
great,
once you embrace the old wise person's approach to life, you can move on to stage 6.
which is my favorite.
It's my favorite. You beat me to it. I
I
was
said
just
it
saying.
first.
We both love this stage because in this stage, you're metaphorically flying in your life and everything just comes together. It really is like we're living, what we've been talking about in this podcast, a woo way life. It's about, complete spontaneity and really getting rid of like your to-do lists and, all the things that you have to do because if you're living this way in spontaneity, you're actually always in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what you need to do.
So if you have a dentist appointment at 9 o'clock,
Yes, you just happen to jump in your car right on time.
right on time, no traffic, you get that
Yeah.
spot.
It's a
Walk
flow.
in, they're on time. You get extra Novocaine or laughing gas, which is my
Because you
favorite.
also always need laughing gas when
Right.
you're flying.
That's right. If you're gonna fly, you might as well get that perk. No, everything just it gets easy and things are flowing and there's no obstacles and all the stages keep just roll into another and it's a great way to be.
Yeah, and it's like if your mind's not that complicated, getting back to Gohung's simplicity idea, if you simplify your mind, then you'll remember the dentist appointment. You don't need the reminder on your
Right. And
phone. You
it's on
don't
the phone, it's on the computer. We have apps to remind us. We have apps about lists. We have apps to do this, do that, do this, do that.
it's
Yeah, you gotta let
because
that all go.
yeah, it's because we live such complicated
You need the
lives.
simpleton app.
Yeah, the simple
It
the
does
simpleton.
nothing.
Yes, so this is great. So if you get through stage 6, and by the way, we think most people in modern society are going to stick around in stage 6 because, stage 7, 8, 9, you really need to go into the caves. All right, so let's move on to the last 3 stages of alchemy, which are really the magical stages of
Magical. Oh,
alchemy.
there's the button again.
Woo!
Woo! You just like that button.
So theoretically, in stage 7, people would be able to begin to morph.
Now that is where it's at, right?
Yeah. So, what if you could change the shape of your body? I mean, in Gohung's cave where they found his cauldron, there was this giant cauldron. And
Giant cauldron, tiny hole made of stone. Like,
yes.
I don't know how they got that cauldron in there. It was crazy.
So, how did that happen? So, the idea is that, once you get into this stage, you're beginning to kind of change matter basically and make it, change to your liking. And then in stage 8, you can become invisible or walk through walls. And
Morph and walking through invisible walls. It's pretty cool.
yeah, and there's this story of this immortal who, it took him like 10 years to do that. And he pretended to be sick while his wife fed him, food every day. And then one day he just simply walked out the walls and never came back.
Oh, I'm sure she was thrilled about that.
Yeah,
You mean you
really.
could have done that like 10 years ago? Just got up and walked out the door? OMG.
Yeah.
But
But
anyways, that is kind of cool though, walking through the walls.
but it's really important to know a little bit about stage 9 because
Yes, you need to do stage 9 before you can understand 9 before you do 8
because
because
9 is about how to reappear.
reappear.
So, if you become immortal and you become invisible, it might be nice to learn how to be visible
Yeah,
again.
so you can come on back.
Yeah. So, of course, these are very high level stages of alchemy. And for the most part, most of us in society are only going to do stages 1 through 6 because you really need to go into the caves yourself, whether they're in China or anywhere in the world.
But
They,
not like a man cave
no,
or like a woman cave with like a 55-inch LED
no,
and like surround sound and keg of beer.
definitely not that
Lazy
kind of cave.
boy. No, not that kind of cave. No alchemy in that cave.
No, this is a cave with like, a stone
And
pillow
a
for
spider.
and a spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
We saw those
you
caves.
saw those caves. So you need
That
3.
spider was like, get the heck out of here, dude.
We
I'm
ac
meditating.
we actually saw caves that had stone pillows chiseled
Yes.
out.
Which
So
they said do not get on,
yes,
lay down, which of course we
we
did.
did.
There was a stone napping cart, like a little cot made out of stone. It's where
Yes.
they rested on their journey halfway down the mountain or up the mountain. So we had to rest.
Yes. So you need to spend at least 3 months at a time and to do these upper stages of work in those caves, in a
Yes.
cave, not a man cave
Not the man
or
or
a woman
woman cave.
cave.
No.
All right. So we explain all these 9 stages in great detail in our new book, Through the Mystery
We
Gate.
wrote a book
We did.
available on Amazon.com or wherever you buy your
Or
books
wherever
today,
you buy your books. All right.
or our website, alchemylearningcenter.com.
And you
Dot
can
com.
and you can think about alchemy as a Taoist version of this idea of pursuing enlightenment that, Buddhists are always pursuing. Because, it's like in this case, you're really going for that sense of freedom in yourself, a sense of being in that complete Wu Wei inspired action
It's a
state.
great place to be.
It's the embracing the magic of life.
Oh, yes. Tell us how many times Lita pushed that button to this episode, and we will send you a t-shirt.
You're gonna totally regret having given me control of those buttons. All right.
Yes.
So it's about changing the perspective that life is hard, that you need to struggle, and that life is bad, and that you have to work hard. So it's
So,
a
I mean, that right there is a huge, huge perspective shift for like millions of people.
yeah, totally. So instead it's about
So life is
ease.
easy. There is no
Yeah.
struggle. Life
It's
is good. You
it,
don't have to work hard. You can work smarter.
and it's about releasing the gravity of your life so that you can fly.
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 Yes, there you go.
All right.
Magical. All
Thank
right.
you, everyone.
Hope you enjoyed that podcast. So if you're in the Apple section, like, subscribe, give a little thumbs up, leave a
Yes.
message if you like. We love to read them. And we will
Thank you.
see you next time. Well, okay, we won't actually see you, but you can listen to us next time.
And thank you again for joining us.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye. You've been listening to the Inspired Action Podcast, and you've reached the end. Woohoo! Why not celebrate a little bit and click that subscribe button right there? We love having you with us on this journey, and we want it to continue.
You can also rate and review this podcast. And if you have already, thank you so much. We read all reviews, and your reviews help other people find this podcast as well. You can also be a part of this podcast yourself by submitting a voice recording message and emailing it to us at lita@inspiredactionpodcast.com or jay@inspiredactionpodcast.com.
And if you want, you can join our Facebook group or follow us on Instagram.
Join us next week for another Inspired Action conversation. And thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, and remember to hug the dog.